To preface, I want to clarify that the Mobvoi Ticwatch Atlas isn't necessarily a new model. It's more of a, if you may, a mid-cycle refresh of the Pro 5 and the Pro 5 Enduro that in this case does bring a few changes, like adding refinement and stability that I felt should have been there since day one. So yeah, the hardware is pretty much identical as before, still pretty potent, and you can watch my thoughts on that in the video above, which means in this video, I'm going to focus mainly on what's different now. The Mobvoi Ticwatch Atlas retails for $350 and it comes in this all black colorway for the strap, the bezel, and the frame and everything, but there's this silver gray version coming soon, so keep an eye out for that if that's more your jam. Now, in the business end of things, there is a Snapdragon W5 Plus Gen 1, which is identical as the Pro 5, same RAM, same storage and everything. Same like before too is the sapphire glass over the 1.43-inch OLED with the second ultra low power LCD panel, which is pretty darn awesome and unique to TicWatches. Now, the weight on this thing, interestingly, according to my scale, is 84 grams, and more than half of that is actually the new strap. So yeah, water resistance is 5 ATM or 50 meters and is rated for open water swim. Battery life on this thing is monster, guys. It's 3.8 days according to my testing on average, with all settings stock, with app notifications turned on, no GPS activity tracking, screen brightness set to auto but capped at level 2 out of 3. But then if I throw like 1 hour GPS activity tracking per day into the mix, that drops the number to still a pretty healthy 2.6 days. The sensor package includes PPG, barometer, altimeter, compass, SpO2, skin temperature, as well as off-body detection. And by the way, there's also a speaker and a mic and NFC for contactless payment if you so choose. The Atlas is on the left and the Pro 5 is on the right. You can see that the bezels are different and everything, but the biggest change for me, and really a plus one, is the buttons. So the crown is much larger and more pronounced, it's knurled, and also the action button is really nice and pronounced. You can, just feel for it without even looking easily. Now, unfortunately, the charging has remained the same. There's the same Pogo proprietary charger. I wish there was like wireless charging at this point. It always falls off the cable and everything. And on the sides here, what's with this fake screws and all that? Let me try to focus on this. Like fake screws and a fake sensor bump. Oh my goodness. The strap is really nice though. This is much big improvement over the previous gen. There's some really nice textures and it feels really good in the hand and very stable. It spreads the weight out really well. And it is a 24mm strap, by the way. First, let's round up real quick what has changed on this thing. It's chunkier looking now, at least from the front, more adventure-y for what it's worth. There's also fall detection, which is great, which can be set to always on or when you're working out. Now, Mobvoi, can we also have always on but exclude workouts too? That would be fantastic. Emergency SOS, which can be activated manually by pressing the crown 5 times really quick, or linked to fall detection to do it automatically. Now, when it's activated, it will dial any number you want and or send your location to any emergency contact you designate. Data point improvements. VO2 max stats are now shown on the secondary LCD display during workouts, which is nice. There's also heat maps in the app. It's made for team sports, which shows areas of the court or field that you spend the most time in. Wear OS 4.0, which brings small improvements, and one of my favorite features is actually called phone transfer, that finally allows users to bring a watch over to a new phone and skip around without needing a system reset each time like Wear OS 3.5 did. You probably noticed this in the close-ups earlier, but there is a weight gain on this, mostly centered around the strap. It's roughly 18 grams more than the Pro 5 and Enduro because of it. Easy answer this one. This thing has battery for days, guys, thanks to a large battery cell and especially the trick second low power screen that basically is an LCD layer working like, like a Timex over the main OLED. If you choose to use the second layer as the always-on display, the watch basically saves tons of energy when you're just, raising your wrist to look at the time throughout the day or not using it for long periods of time like while you're sleeping. Say what you want about the Atlas not having the latest Wear OS 5. Well, yes, I would have preferred a fresh off the press OS just like anyone else, but with the minor improvements separating the two versions, and more importantly, the greater stability that Wear OS 4 brings, I'm fine with it for the most part. It just goes to show how small things can make a big difference. In the case of the Atlas, the combination of the reimagined button and crown design and the subtle orange accents finally make the watch look interesting. I mean, it's not going to win any design awards anytime soon because I personally think that there are some elements that are just trying a little bit too hard. But compared to the relative blandness of the Pro 5, yeah. Now, you might find this next bit silly, but the best upgrade for me, looks-wise, has been the strap. Even with the weight gain and all, it actually has interesting textures now. I particularly like the notch near the top of the band here. It subconsciously reduces the visual weight where the lug and the strap and the bezel meet. This one is a big one. So Mobvoi scares a lot of people off with its spotty update cycle. And granted, in the past year, that has somewhat improved by way of occasional stability and security patches, but major OS versions are still a toss-up, especially for current and older models. And I find it odd that this watch doesn't come straight from the factory with Wear OS 4.0. Instead, it's pre-installed with 3.5, and only when the watch is booted up and set up for the first time does it get 4.0 installed. Now, I'm not dissing Wear OS 4. It's great, and as I said before, only marginally lesser in features than Wear OS 5, which Google and Samsung watches have right now. It's just the wishy-washiness of Mobvoi's update policy from a customer's point of view that I'm disliking here. I am aware that Mobvoi on the back end has to spend more time testing each OS version to ensure the secondary screen plays nice, but still, at least be more transparent about it. So this still doesn't have Google Assistant, guys. We've been asking for this since like forever, and here we are almost at 2025. But if I remember correctly, it's not necessarily Mobvoi's fault here. Google, for some reason, keeps preventing access to TicWatches only to give Google Assistant exclusively to the likes of Samsung, for example. But that being said, I can forgive this whole shebang if there's this like secret project between Google and Mobvoi to bring Gemini to these watches. Yeah? What? Oh, it's never gonna happen? Piece of crap. When you're marketed as a tough guy, go anywhere kind of timepiece, there needs to be, I feel, more integrated fitness capabilities to back that claim up, rather than having, as it is right now, users piecemealing features from various apps to get the job done. Like GPS mapping, third-party app, race predictor, third-party app, training recovery and insight, third-party app, even something basic as reviewing my run or bike ride that I did like literally minutes ago. It's not front and center like other fitness and adventure watches. Here, I have to scroll all the way to the bottom of the health card where it sits discreetly. What the heck? I'm personally liking this new shift in naming convention here. First we had the Pro 5 Enduro, and now it's simply called Atlas. Yeah, I'm super excited that Mobvoi dropped Pro altogether, even as other brands continue to overuse the term for their flagships. But anyways, back to the watch. Along with the OnePlus Watch 2, I think they're probably the best Wear OS smartwatches outside of the stuff from Google and Samsung easily at this point, especially when you focus in on endurance and performance. This thing is fast and smooth, and it's great to be off the charger for such a long time. On the other hand, the Atlas can definitely use a more comprehensive suite of fitness features to level with the likes of Garmin and Coros, for example. And having no Google Assistant really takes away half of the whole purpose of having Wear OS in the first place. Plus, this watch should be priced at $300 or thereabouts to make it really attractive to buyers. Well, that has been my review of the TicWatch Atlas, and I hope you found this useful for your research, for your shopping, learning something about Wear OS and Mobvoi and whatever it is. And with Thanksgiving coming up, happy Thanksgiving by the way, gobble gobble. With the Black Friday sales coming up, maybe you'll find some good sales on it. I'll link the product down below, and if you find some good deals on it, reshare it with people in the comments down below. That'll be super awesome. And if you like what I do, you'd like to see more videos like this, you know what to do. Thumbs up, subscribe, reshare. Yes, easy part. And remember to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world, because guess what? The world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. I love you all very much. Peace out and God bless.